Welcome to Anime Anonymous. I'm CJ.
And this is Ace.
And Jess is back.
Yes, Jess has decided to join us again because this week, if you pay attention to Twitter or Insta, I almost said Twitch, Twitter or Instagram, this week is Belle, the 2021 movie that we all enjoyed. I'm the only one who watched it in both the sub and dub, but we'll get into our quick reviews on it. As always, if you have any questions, recommendations, thoughts, hit us up on Instagram, xanimeanonymousx, Twitter, xanimeanonymous. That extra X is just too long. And then there might be comments on Audius, you said, right?
Working on it. Haven't actually seen any comments or the ability to do it.
To be determined.
I will follow up and get back to you guys.
But we're always active on the Insta and Twitter. Outside of the rigmarole, just jump into it. Ladies first, aka I like to put Jess on the spot. Quick review. What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I really got some Beauty and the Beast vibes, which I'm a Disney fan, so that was awesome. And how accurate they were with it was pretty cool too. It was very pretty, and the music was on point. So yeah.
Okay, Ace.
I loved it. Watched it in the English dub version. Was so satisfied that just didn't really feel the need to watch the Japanese. And I'm usually a Japanese first and only viewer of anime, but the English just blew me away. The music, spot on. Animation, spot on. The Beast's combat, spot on. I was thoroughly satisfied and very happy with that film. How about you, CJ?
I really liked it. I am a sucker for music, as anybody who's listened to any episode knows. That is one of the biggest things that I key in on. One of the other things I really liked too was the mix of animation. So if you are a fan of Studio Ghibli and all those different kind of drawn, really nice, pretty, kind of sunshiny animes, like where they look at the landscape like that, half of this movie is like that when they're in the quote-unquote real world. And then you have the new edge, like CGI'd anime whenever they're in the metaverse. So I really liked that, the kind of duality.
That was a great contrast.
Yeah, because it's a huge contrast, but they're both very beautiful in their own rights. And then the story was really good. If you guys care about spoilers, that was your spoiler free. So everything else is spoilers after this. So you've been warned. Don't at me. So let's talk about a couple of the characters. So the main character, her name is Suzu. She has kind of a rough start. And I liked how the movie there's sometimes people have issues when like they do like a time skip or a jump back without telling you, and it's a little confusing, like totally outside of anime. But like The Witcher season 1, that was like the huge thing because people didn't understand. It was like going back forth. This does a jump in time backwards, but it's obvious that it did it. So I liked that, and instead of kind of harping on her past, for lack of a better term, it was almost like a fight montage without the fight montage. You know, like in anime, it's like a training montage. Like it was like a growth montage. It was like her and her mom, and like you saw her mom was the one who taught her how to play music and write and all that. So you got a lot without words. Like there's no words.
Very clear context, very clear distinction between the past and reality or current. present, whatever. And I'm like, I'm literally using every single word except what I wanted. But it was definitely very clear, very distinct. And I was fully engaged on the backstory of what happened to her mom. The fact that she was willing to risk her own life to save her, save a kid that she doesn't even know.
Yeah.
I think
While every other person was just staring.
Right.
Because,
And I'm like, are you a lifeguard in this river?
Yeah.
But my thing is like, and it was confusing. I don't know if it was the animation, but once she saved the kid is just like floating and then gets pulled up. We don't see her even swimming with the kid.
No, she gave the kid her life jacket. That's it.
Oh,
so
okay, that's how she saved him.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I was confused with that.
she used the life vest to get to the kid, gave it to the kid, and so that's why the kid basically floated and they got her. But obviously, the mom, which right after you hear, you gotta love like how stupid people are. So people are sitting there flaming her like, oh, she killed herself for a random kid and left her own mom, or her own child momless.
Right.
And they're like, oh, swimming in the river is different than in the pool because she used to swim in the pool. It's like, no, duh. Like, what's the point? What's the point of flaming a dead person? Like,
Right.
Did you do anything?
Nope, you just stood there and watched.
Exactly.
Now, my thing is that if they just canoed, it should be 2 life jackets. Why was it only one that she put on, and why didn't she grab the other one?
Did they canoe? I don't really think it was saying anything about canoeing. I just know that people were there.
So when she put the life jacket on,
Yeah.
where was the other one?
That's
Why
what I'm
was there
saying.
only one?
I don't remember seeing a canoe. Do you remember seeing a canoe?
Well, not necessarily a canoe, but
But yeah, I get Ace's point. Like
life jacket just came out of nowhere.
the life jacket did come out of nowhere, which doesn't really make sense. Like, and also, why didn't she grab another one or another flotation device of some sort?
All I remember is.
But I do understand mom instinct is just to go.
But that's not even her child to have the mom instinct for that.
All I remember
No,
is
a
there
mom
was
instinct
one
is there no
life
matter
jacket that she
what.
grabbed.
That was my confusion. Like, why would it only be just one life jacket?
There was just one on the floor. So that's my thing. Like, I don't even think it was hers. I think she saw that there was a life jacket, grabbed it, and went. Because it's not like she grabbed it from her bag. Like, it was in front on, like, the beach.
Yeah.
And she grabbed it and put it on.
Yeah.
I don't think it was hers.
I didn't necessarily like that decision making.
Yeah.
Personally.
Like, but that's her thing. Her mom was very selfless.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that you're supposed to learn from that.
I was a lifeguard, and there's procedures that are put in place when you're trying to save anybody. Definitely need to make sure that you have your floating device, and then you have your little thing that you breathe into them if need be. I am not just going to go into the water without my floating device and then carry the child on the floating device.
Well,
both.
But yeah, you're coming at it as a person who's a lifeguard. I don't think she was a lifeguard. She was just a good swimmer, and her mom instincts were like, "There's a little girl over there. I can save her. I'm gonna go do it." And then at the end of the day, she overestimated her skills. That's it.
So I'm gonna give you a question, off topic. If you were a really good football player, track star, that means you know the environment, the industry, the do's and the don'ts, and the possibilities of mistakes. If she's a good swimmer, that means she's in the environment where she knows what should be done to save the kid.
Yes, but I'm a man. I'm not emotional. She is a woman, and
Men can be emotional,
and
bruh.
she's a mother.
So, coming from a mom instinct, I totally get where she's coming from because, I mean, you see a kid go down, immediately you're going to go and jump in. No guy standing there was going to go and jump in. The mom had the right instinct of going after the kid because we just immediately think, go save a kid. But unfortunately,
Emotional woman. See?
Okay.
unfortunately,
My point
I
is
think
proven.
I think she should have also thought about her own child.
Exactly.
So that's the part that I didn't like, was she put a random kid above her own.
I completely agree.
So that's the only thing I didn't like, but I do understand what her intent was. As a mom, I do understand what she was trying to do.
I think it just brought up bad memory in my head. As a lifeguard, I literally pulled kids out of the pool where I'm like, where's your parent? Parent not here, you can't swim. Pulling them out, you're going to sit right there. You can tell your mom to come talk to me. And she doesn't need to be in the house while you over here and you can't swim.
Yeah,
so
that's
just
that's
like
a
bad
huge
parenting.
issue, period, in America. I remember when we went to, this is totally off topic.
I know, right?
But I remember when we went to New York on a trip. She and I are walking. There's this little kid. I'm like, where is this kid's parent? They're all the way over in Timbuktu. I'm like, you are in New York.
Right.
In basically Times Square. You are not holding your kid's hand?
Yeah.
This kid is going to get snatched. So, like,
Or ran over.
we just watched the kid from the background until, like, they went to their parent. And I was like, all right, I feel comfortable now.
Right.
Most likely he's just going to dip again. But, hey, I'm not going to see it. I don't worry about it.
Hey, you did your due diligence
Exactly.
more than I thought.
Yeah,
most people would done.
I was like, well, we didn't want to look like creeps, so we were, we're like back.
I mean, I was wearing a camouflage big
Yeah,
jacket.
good
It was just
That does not give you
Yeah.
any good credit at all.
Yeah.
I was literally giving you credit, and she was like, I was in the camo, ready to snatch the kid.
Yeah, no, I tried to tell her, I was like, don't act like a tourist. Hey, no New Yorker wearing a camo jacket
that's all I
unless
had.
you
That
got
was my
Tim's
biggest
on.
jacket.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah, whatever.
You could have bought me
Anyway,
another one.
good old Suzu.
It's so hurt on the devastation of losing her.
Yeah,
her mom.
very hurt. Kind of time skip. She is struggling in her own way, dealing with her mom's death, right? Very, very close, because in that whole time skip that you have, you never really see her spending much time with her dad. Right. It's her and her mom. Like, that's it. Well, then it kind of comes back to present time. And they go to like karaoke or something, and they try, like, all the girls go to karaoke, and they try to have her sing there, like shoving mics in her face, which would have annoyed anybody.
Well,
she had like 10 mics in her face.
I thought she was invited to like a party because the Metaverse singer was having a concert, and they were watching and they were trying to sing along with
But it's a karaoke area.
Okay.
That's what it is. So, like, they're all singing, and they're like, oh, you can't be the only one not singing. She had like 10 mics in her face.
Yeah, I was like,
that was pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm like, that's intense.
No, give me one. Relax. And then so she just yells and leaves, and they're all like, what the heck? And then she's basically walking home, and she tries to sing, and
sounds like trash.
she sounds like trash, but then she throws up.
I know.
And
From the
like,
anxiety.
and yeah, you automatically know she has lost her singing because of she associates it to her mom. And then what? Did you want to say something? Oh, okay. And then what is it? I mean, then we get thrown into the world, basically. Like, her friend Hero, which you meet later on too. She's, I think, so watching both sub and dub, she's funnier in dub or in sub. I mean, like, she says pretty much the same stuff, but it just matches her character better.
Right.
But she's like deadpan, kind of like just straight up like disses Suzu sometimes, and Suzu's like, "Yo, be quiet, leave me alone." But Hero tells her about this metaverse place called You, which you create your own new character. Now, I think I get that the whole thing about this is like, yes. The character Belle, which Suzu is Japanese for Belle, so that's how it works out.
Did not know that.
Yeah, she actually says that in the dub. She's like, well, Belle is English for Suzu or something like that, which we've all said this before, but I want to mention it on the podcast. The dubbed singer, I think her name's like, voice. She's the voice and the singing. I think her name's Kylie McNeil.
Okay.
She is great.
Yeah, phenomenal.
That girl needs to be signed. She
Booked.
needs
Contracts.
a lot of things, like, because that voice is amazing. She has a great range. Whether she does like a lower register when she's talking as Suzu, and then when she sings as Belle, she is hitting every note. Like I would buy a album from her, which I did research on her. Apparently, she's been songwriting since she was like 15.
Okay.
I think she's 20 now. So she said that's her next goal. They're like, what are you gonna do after Belle? She was like, her next goal is she really wants to like make her own album. I was like, let me know when it comes out. It could be hot garbage. I will buy it. I'll support
I mean,
her.
if she wrote anything close to the lyrics in Belle, I think it would be
I think
fire.
she did, but I'm not sure. So that's another thing that I liked about the sub. So when she first gets into You and she tries to sing and she's like, "Wait, I can sing? Like that means I can sing again?" Because in her brain, it's a whole separate entity, which is the whole point of You. It's recreating yourself. So she starts singing, and again, dubbed, amazing.
amazing.
Sub, amazing. Got chills. Like, but in the dub, like, people are stopping. They're like, who's singing? That's such a weird song. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's nothing weird about this song. Like, why are they
I was so
saying
confused
this?
until you mentioned it in Japanese.
Yeah, well, in Japanese, the words are completely different. Like, it's a kind of depressing song. So, no duh, somebody would be like, yo, this is a happy place.
Right.
Sing happy. What's wrong with you? But, so that made more sense. But I'm wondering if she wrote the words for the
English.
different version. Yeah. Because I like both. The English version is more about missing her mom and kind of using the melody to kind of build herself. The other one is feeling more depressed and saying like, why are people happy, etc. Both are great songs. But if she did, like, kudos to her. That, and then you meet one of the other kind of not main characters, main side characters, the little angel that like shows up, and he like comes up. I think in sub and dub he says the same thing. He's like, "You're beautiful, you're amazing," and she's like, "Thank you."
Is that angel connected to the beast?
Yeah, that's his. That's
his
you
little
find out
brother.
later. That's his little brother.
Oh, that angel is his little brother.
Yeah.
Completely missed that one.
Yeah, yeah. So, so the other kind of main character is called in the English dubbed. He's mainly called Dragon a lot, but in the subbed, he's mainly called Beast. I think they maybe call him Dragon once, and that's the allude to Beauty and the Beast, because she's Belle, which they say it, which is funny because she names herself Belle, Bell, but because her character is beautiful, somebody, and they say it in the sub and dub, he's like, wouldn't Belle be better? And this one character's like, isn't that the same name? And they're like, he means Belle. They're like, what's the difference? That means beautiful. Like, so it's like a little joke onto Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
But it's not a direct iteration. They just kind of took different, what is it? Like, not creative liberties, like different inspiration. They took inspiration from it because in Beauty and the Beast, obviously Belle and the prince like get together. In this, at first you're kind of thinking that, but then it turns into, funnily enough, kind of like more of a motherly role that she has to the Beast. So I liked that, because at first I was like, this is kind of, I don't know, like, it rubbed me the wrong way at first.
Really?
It's like, well, because I'm like, she clearly likes whatever his name is. What is his name? Shinobu.
Right.
I'm like,
Shinobu.
oh, so all of a sudden you just meet this guy in his metaverse. You don't even know, it could be a fat dude. You have no idea, and you just fall in love with him. So at first I was like, if they do this, I'm gonna be annoyed.
I didn't get that. I was very supportive of like their connection, their vibe within the metaverse. Completely forgot that he could be some creep on the other side of the computer. I was just like, I felt like they were resonating. I felt like they were vibing for sure. I was hoping that they were the same age. I think I just had the best interest in mind.
Nah, man, I was repping my man Shinobu.
He was bluffing. I was like, I don't like it. Like, I guess because he wasn't smooth like I wanted him to be. He was more monotone, very plain. When he was checking up on her, like trying to protect her or whatever, I'm like, you are not doing what you need to do, in my opinion. And then when they were in the hallway and he was trying to talk to Suzu, it just seemed very bland and like she was getting all shook. And I'm like, this reaction is not matching up. And I was like, maybe the Japanese is a little better, but you eventually showed me that it is a lot better.
Yeah, he's still not like super animated, but his voice has some emotion in it. Like it sounds normal. Like I am a very non-emotional person, but like he's deadpan. Right. So like if I'm saying like, so like he says, "What is it? Tell me." Like it pissed me off. I'm like, bro, just say it normally. Like me, if I say, I'm like, "What is it? Tell me." And that's like how Shinobu is in the anime. So he's not like crazy, like emotional, but he sounds normal. Okay. Like the other dude sounds like, I don't know, like he took some NyQuil and then put some Benadryl with it. Right. Like he's like half asleep. Like he's just like, "Suzu, you're Belle." Like, huh?
And she was getting red and all flustered and shook up, and I'm like,
but like she kind of has a reason for that because he's been like they never show you that, but they kind of tell you in the little flashback when he like grabs her hand and she says it like he told her when they were 6, like he would protect her.
Right. Yep,
he's been her protector through the years, like so she feels that way because he's been protecting her. And one of the things that is different in the sub and dubbed is like the last line that he says. So like in the last line, and Ace and I talked about this earlier, you're like, his last line's like really weird. Like he's just like, "Oh, now we can," I don't even remember what he said in the dub.
He was saying, come back to me.
I can't remember what he says, but in the
oh, he's saying, "I'm so glad that you showed that you can protect someone else. So now that we don't have to do that anymore, I don't have to protect you anymore. Now we can start having fun."
That's what he said. What? He was like, yeah, he says we can have fun. Like ironically, that's what I've always wanted.
I'm like BS. I was
what?
Like, come on, bro.
So in the Japanese, he says like he stretches and they give that animation to the voice. He's like, "Oh, I don't have to be your guardian anymore." He was like, "Now we can be normal friends." Like,
why did he say that in the English one?
Because they changed certain things, and I'm just like, fun? You sound so boring.
Right? I'm like, I don't like your characters. I guess that puts another. Yeah, Shinobu was not my favorite character. He's irrelevant.
I mean, granted, if we're talking about like favorite characters, I like Kamashin more than him. The canoe guy.
Yeah, the
like,
canoe guy was
funny.
Hilarious.
He's funny in the dub and sub.
That
guy's
train
funny.
Scene. Hilarious.
Yeah. Between him and Ruka?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was literally cracking me.
Yeah, he's funny. But anyway, I mean, what do you want to talk about, Miss Jess? Because we are just bouncing off of each other.
Yeah, favorite scene? Any scene that pulled the heartstrings?
Oof. Don't get me started on that.
Did you cry?
I teared up.
I did. It was the end scene. Is that where you cried?
The when she's singing?
No, the one where
when she's singing.
No, the one where she comes and stands in front of the kids.
Oh, that one? No, I didn't tear up. Oh well, no, I might have teared up there. I don't remember. It's when like the dad is trying to beat them and she like stands up in front of them and shields them.
Oh.
Like, I think I might have. I don't know. The one that I definitely got teared up
was when she was singing to him?
When she was singing and her voice starts breaking because she's singing while thinking about her mom. And like she literally turns around and starts crying, and the other singer, Polly or whatever her name was, she like encourages her. She's like, "No, sing! Like you need to sing."
Yeah, that was the part where
Like,
I was definitely
I was like,
crying as
whew,
well. I think
rough.
so when they have the heart and the souls and
Yeah,
the whole crowd lights up and everybody's singing along. Yeah, that one was definitely heartstrings pulled.
So I looked it up because I wanted to see kind of the soundtrack. I didn't look up the soundtrack, but I looked up that one song. It's called like Million Miles or something. That is an 8-minute song. So all of that is all the same song, bro.
Oh,
Dang.
man.
I was like, good lord.
It was good.
It's a 4-part song. So like the first part's like a minute, the second part's like 3 minutes, and then like they break it up. I was like, what
Well, that's
in the world?
strictly for the movie then, for sure.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
that was definitely one that I teared up for. Now I had the luxury to watch this by myself, no one, no one around. Had my headphones in, I was just in my bag. But yeah, I like those moments where I can just close the door and just watch, have whatever feelings come out that I need to.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That was good. What else do you like? I know Hero's like your favorite character.
Oh, she's by far my favorite. Especially when Suzu was freaking out because she went from 0 followers waking up to then like 3 million followers.
Oh, yeah.
And she comes running in like, oh my gosh, they're talking about me. And he was like, yeah, the joys of being fame, as expected. And then I didn't realize what character she was in You until I saw her character and her at the same time talking.
Oh,
I didn't realize she was the flying little thing.
And that's what, definitely. How did y'all feel about the randomness of the characters in the metaverse and then them in real life? Because it was so random.
So it's a mix. So it does take your genetic signature,
Right.
but you can change it. So like when Suzu was making hers, she thinks I don't think so, but I think the movie is even saying that is true because like when she uploaded her picture, it zoned in on her and it took her face, but she was saying, oh, it thinks that I'm Ruka because it gave like the long hair and she's pretty. So she could have canceled, which means obviously you can re-roll. So I think these different people kind of basically either re-rolled or did something else to like choose what they look like. Because if that's the case, everybody would look humanoid.
Yeah.
But like you've got like little robots, you've got all these,
Aliens.
yeah.
You had some big fat lady as a baby.
Yeah.
Right, that was
You had
called
some
really weird. I was like,
You had some person who had like 2 goose heads as like little appendages on their head. I don't care what genetic code you're scanning. Nobody has 2 goose heads
Right.
coming out of their face. So like, so I think it's like create your own character. Like I think you start off with a base and then you can do whatever you want. She just liked her base because it was pretty.
who was a character that you didn't like? Maybe not the worst, but just a character that comes to mind that you didn't like. I have mine.
In the in general, like in the whole
general,
movie.
Yeah, in general.
I mean, the obvious one's Justin. The dude with the light gun.
Yeah, I was like, yep,
Yeah.
don't like you.
Yeah, he's the obvious one. I think probably other ones that I don't like. It's like a pair of them. I don't think they even have names, but you see them at the beginning and you technically see them. It's not like it's hinted that it's the same girls, but it's the 2 girls that are talking about how much they like Ruka, like when she's doing her saxophone. Yeah, I was like, wait, no, she does not have a trumpet. When she's playing the saxophone, there's 2 girls that are talking together, and they're like, oh, I wish I had her legs, blah, 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 blah. Well, then later on, when Suzu gets herself, like, shot so that she can show her
reveal
true
herself,
self,
yeah.
they're like, you see these 2 annoying little cats talking
Yeah.
about, like, oh, the girl got shown, poor girl. I was like, shut up.
Yeah, I was like, you're jealous.
Yeah,
Big
so
hate,
outside
big
of
hate.
Justin, those would probably be the other ones that I didn't like.
Yeah, I didn't like the superheroes at all.
Yeah, the whole crew.
Yeah,
the
the
superheroes.
I was
Yeah.
like,
They annoyed me.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling them. And they were getting whooped. I did like that part because it made the Beast look.
Yeah, my
epic.
man was just wrecking them.
Solo. Almost gave me some solo leveling vibes.
Yeah,
Slash, what's that other one? King's Avatar vibes. He was whooping him. I was like, man, that was a great fight scene. And then, if you guys already know, y'all know I love the action. So they had everything I needed in there to have this give a high rating, which I'll get to that at the end. But yeah.
So I have a question.
What's up?
Did you guys catch on to the bruises on the beast?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually caught on to that early.
Like, I could not. I was like, okay, it's bruises. It's bruises. I'm like, what bruises are we talking about? And then when we finally saw the two kids and they were about to get beat up, I'm like, oh, it was that.
Did you not notice when he grabbed her? So he saves Suzu,
Right.
Belle. So I'll make it make sense. He saves Belle,
Right.
and when he like wraps her up and he's getting beat
By the Justice League.
Avengers,
Yeah,
the Justice League. Yeah. He's getting beat
I mean,
by
it looked like it. No
Exactly.
joke. It did.
I was like, okay, if he's that durable and strong in the metaverse and everything correlates where your strength in the outside real world gets kind of brought into you, I'm like, this kid is getting abused. I was like, that was the first thing that I pointed to, and then the way he wrapped her up and he was taking the punches, I'm like, yeah, he's saving somebody, and I didn't know why he was getting abused, and we come to find out that he was protecting his younger brother, but I knew something was up. I'm like, he's getting beat by somebody.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's also, I think the movie did this on purpose. He's not getting physically abused. If you see, it's the dad who is basically talking just horribly about him, and he's like, his body's reacting. But his dad never once actually hits him.
So I thought they just omitted the physical action because of the movie, but I thought he was still getting hit.
I
thought it was like implied.
So it's verbal abuse?
I think he's just I think the movie did that on purpose to show you how detrimental even verbal abuse is. Okay. I think it was purposefully done because every time his dad says something horrible about him or his brother, like you see him like flinch and like he's in pain or whatever. One of the main reasons I wanted to watch it in subbed though was I was wondering if they were going to call them bruises, because they didn't look like bruises at all to me. Like they just looked like some design on a cape.
That's why I was so confused.
Yeah, but they kept saying his bruises. I'm like, that's a cape. Like, it's not even him. But I guess the whole thing is you.
Right. That's what I thought. That's what I
guess. But yeah, no, I think they purposefully did that. And one of the things that McNeil, well, God, is her name Katie? Whatever. The English voice for Belle, she says that one of the things that she hopes people take from it is that the internet can be used for good and nice, but it can also be very hurtful and detrimental to people. Yeah. And I think you see that as well. Especially like look at the baseball player. Like, people are talking smack. Oh, he has demons in his closet. He must be an evil dude. Blah blah blah. And then call it what you want. They peer pressured him into showing something that he may not have wanted to show. Right. And so he takes it off, and you see old dudes all jacked up from surgery when he was surgery. Yeah, when he was younger, he had surgery. But then he turns it around, and I really liked that part. He was like, don't be shocked. Like, when I was younger, I had a lot of surgeries, etc. Blah blah blah. But he was like, I want this. He was like, but I got better enough so I could play in pros. So I want you to take me as like don't give up on your dreams to the kids and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I like that. Like, he took something that was being used negatively against him, basically forced his hand to do this, but then he was like, all right, if you're forcing my hand, I'm going to at least make it positive. Yeah. So there are a lot of little, like, obvious but still good messages in the movie.
Yeah, and I do want to mention another example of the internet being used in a negative way. Now, this happens in, like, high school and, middle school, whatever, so often. When the rumor that Suzu, and I may get this wrong.
That was a hilarious scene.
Hilarious.
It turned into freaking Risk.
Yeah, it was like literally a battle card game. Like,
we were watching it, right? We're like, what the heck just happened?
I was
because it was totally different.
I loved it, man. I loved it. I was like, it's literally a video game. They're like, okay, we gotta go over here.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go tackle this group. Okay, make sure that you up there. Only go after the people that are not completely biased on this person. And they were like, divide and conquer. And I was like, look at this guerrilla tactic.
Sorry. And then you just see like
they're
the
like,
characters flipping.
Yeah, I was like,
and the flames go away.
It was like a shoujo board.
What the hell just happened? Because it was just so random. Like, you have this like two beautiful arts, right? You have the old school drawn beautiful. You got the cyber metaverse. And all of a sudden, you got like this Risk. What just happened?
I was like, beautifully executed. That was so funny. It was like super entertaining.
Yeah, no, it definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah,
like,
it reminded me of so in Naruto when Shikamaru is playing that Japanese board game.
Shogi?
Shogi, yes. It was a Shogi game.
Right, Jess? Right? You know that,
it's
right?
Shogi. You know about Shogi.
We'll just say it was.
If
there was a video on this podcast,
we will eventually have a video version of this. But so just like Jess said when she first was on the show, I got her into anime. And hot take, I am not a huge fan of a lot of the well-known animes like Naruto and Bleach and stuff. I've watched them all, but when I gave her animes, I did not give her those to watch. So she does not know anything about this. So Ace is talking about Naruto. Her face was just like, huh? What'd you say?
Nope. I didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z, so you can blame me on that. Don't make that face.
I have to. Yeah. I feel like you're depriving her of.
I did watch Sailor Moon. I did watch Sailor Moon.
No, okay. She's talking about as she grew up. Like, she never watched that.
That was probably the only anime I watched before him. Was Sailor Moon.
I give you Sailor Moon.
Hey, man. What was that man's name?
Have a lot of OGs.
Tuxedo Mask.
Tuxedo Mask. That was his name.
Juniper was my
dude.
girl.
Oh. He was like the Captain Planet of them. Like, he was just like, hey, yo, I'm out. Right. Like, and he'd just dip, and the girls would have to do stuff like that. That's one thing. I used to love Captain Planet when I was a kid. And then I watched it, I was older, I was like, he is so useless. Like, they would come together, and they'd make him, and he'd do one thing, and then the bad guys would beat him. All right, kids, it's up to you now. I'm like, get your green-haired looking, ooh.
I was like, the finesse.
He's just like, ooh, I'm going to come out here, do one thing. Ooh, ow, he hit me once. All right, kids, it's up to you.
That's my cue. Yeah.
Mother guy is not happy with me. All right, kids, up to you. Like, I hate it. Him and the love guy, like ring of love. Like, boy, if you don't get out of here with your love, okay, I got a dude who can literally catch people on fire. Was it the girl who had the wind power?
And then the earth and the water.
And the earth, water, love. Our heart. That's what. Boy, you are only useful for taking out the other useless person, which is Captain. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Let's turn around, come back to Belle.
To the beautiful Belle.
And not blame me that I did not grow up watching anime here.
Yeah.
See, I'm not blaming that part. I'm blaming that he is the anime expert.
Exactly.
And he hasn't even exposed you to the classics.
Watch Demon Slayer.
Here's the thing,
That's
though.
a new
That's not
one.
a classic.
That's not a
Here's the
classic.
thing.
That's
Those are all
classic.
shonen. Shonen are for young boys, prepubescent boys. I don't even really watch DBZ anymore. I watched Super after it got to the fight arc. Because I am not trying to hear you yelling for like 3 episodes.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I do not approve anything that he's saying. DBZ
you know,
is fire. DBZ Super is fire.
hell no.
All the top 10 shonen.
They look like bootlegged Power Rangers. You had Goku Black.
Blame him in the comments because he don't like Dragon Ball.
Goku Black. You had Super Saiyan Blue now. Foolishness. The only thing, again, it's stupid, and I'm hypocritical for liking it. Only new form that he's had that I liked was Ultra Instinct. And you know why? Because it had a fire soundtrack. Every time he went into it, it was like, hi, 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 hi. He was like
The little god form.
He's like he was finessing people. Like he was such a jerk in that one. Like he literally would show up in front of somebody's face, be like, "I'm here.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna backflip now and go back here."
Right.
And then they finessed. What was her name? Kale.
Oh yeah.
They showed him bodying her in 3 forms. He hit her Kamehameha. Oh, that angle wasn't good enough. Let's hit him from the side angle. Oh, that one wasn't good. Let's do another angle. I'm like,
You literally are giving great aspects of Dragon Ball that
Literally,
everybody that saw it loves.
out of 100% pie, only 5% is good.
BS. I don't want to hear that. All right, let's go back to Belle because he up there
Only good.
is being
I
so
give her-
disrespectful to all
I
the
give her
top 10
good
shonen.
anime to watch.
The pretty.
Oh my goodness.
But where? Oh, we were talking about the scenes that.
Yeah, I was just saying that
Yeah.
that shogi event showed that the internet can be both good and bad. They had a bad situation over the internet with the gossiping.
Yeah,
and then
gossiping.
It was just hilarious how
Yep.
they resolved it and got.
Well, they
through
showed
it.
gossiping in other parts too. They're like, "Oh, I heard Dragon's a millionaire who does it." One of the
Right,
funniest
it came
things.
with Batman
Yeah.
demo.
One of the funniest ones was I heard he's a tax specialist who evaded his taxes. I was
Right, I was
"What?
like, what?
Who put that in there?"
I was like, you're definitely reaching on this one.
But other scenes, so I like them for different reasons. I mean, I know Beauty and the Beast, but like I don't really care about the different parallels. But like I liked the castle. I liked how it looked. Obviously, the AI were like their version of
The teacup people.
yeah, and all of them. But like she noticed, like I pride myself on looking at the small details. I'll tell you right now, I don't like Beauty and the Beast enough to remember everything specifically. This one over here, she spun him around just like I was like, what? What did you say right now?
Yeah, Jess, that's what I'm talking about.
I was like,
That dance scene was spot on.
It was spot on.
Yeah,
and
that was spot
also,
on.
when she was running into the castle, she had a hood just like Belle, and then the little teacup was trying to like assist her to where the beast was, so that made sense. And then all the gossiping of when she was running out, like, oh no, she's leaving. Oh no, what do we do?
see, well, no, that's different. See, now in the anime, in the subbed, they're telling her to leave.
Oh.
Because she annoyed him and she runs out. They're like, get out, leave. Yeah, that's different.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely different.
Oh.
Yep. They literally, so like when they're yelling at her, like she looks at them and then she runs out.
Yeah,
Like
so
in
Yeah.
English,
yeah,
it's
there's like,
different
don't
because they're
leave,
like, no,
stay.
yeah. And then she, like, you think she's like thinking about it and then leaves. Like, no, she's kind of hurt because like they're like, get the heck out, get out, we don't want you.
Right.
Like, it's
That is
actually
funny.
messed up.
Now,
Yeah.
I did like the correlation,
had the-
and you're gonna know this because you're a true Disney fan, so I'm gonna talk to you.
Wow. If I had a heart, that would hurt.
I know you ain't got no.
You have a heart. You have a
You got
heart.
tough skin.
It's okay. I hold all the emotions in this relationship.
Damn
So
right.
So you know in the Disney one they had that rose situation
Yes.
that was magical.
Yes.
I like how they had that same aspect.
Yeah, the
but
secret
it was like,
rose.
It was
Yeah.
bushes.
Yeah, but it was a secret bush of roses,
Yes.
and I like that little correlation.
But they
that
identified
had.
it purely as rose. Like, she's like, oh, this rose is beautiful. He was like, yeah, I made them myself. There's the secret roses.
Right.
So even though it was like a rose bush, like they still did kind of make that tie of rose to rose.
Right.
And then you got your little, you got your Sailor Moon vibe, right? They did the whole like body change with the secret rose.
Hey, they got the beast on point with the dress, except for the cape.
Jesco, he came all dapper. And
I was like, dang.
Yeah, my man.
And then I wish they did a
Men's
yellow
Warehouse.
flower. I wish they made her dress yellow, but they made it pink.
No.
Hey, nah, you reaching. That is way too much copyright infringement.
All right, and now here's the difference. All right, now this may be news to everybody. I am the fashion one in this relationship.
Okay.
She has pink hair. Everything else is pink. You do not put that together with yellow. Not the yellow that Belle had. That is clashing. Stop it. Stop it right now. That's horrible.
But they did get a lot of stuff spot on, like that castle.
Oh, the castle was great.
The castle was good.
Yeah, and I think that was just
Justin was
perfect.
a bootlegged Gaston.
Yes, he was actually. He really was. The sponsorship was like the men in the ale house or whatever, you know,
I ain't even
and
get
the
that.
village, and when
And Gaston was loved by everybody.
right.
Even though he was a complete dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you got the mention, and I completely forgot about Gaston until you said it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
definitely
enjoyed
Gaston. For sure.
Yeah, so definitely, I think they hit some of the Disney
Yeah.
aspects of it.
Yeah,
spot on.
it was
Love
like-
their creative.
It was like an
Without
anime.
making Disney mad.
Right, exactly. Because I was like, be careful. Disney gonna come down with a cease and desist order kind of quick.
Yeah,
But
it was
they
like
did
an
it
anime rendition kind of.
It was a very good one.
because that's not that's not the focus of the story.
Yeah.
Right. It's a side vehicle to move the story along.
Right.
So that's the thing. Like, it's not Beauty and the Beast. Like, it's not.
No.
It's not an anime version of Beauty and the Beast. But Beauty and the Beast is in there.
Right.
But that's not the focus. So I really, really liked it. I really liked when they met in real life. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
And you could see the motherly tones that she had, and like how much he was quote unquote hurting. Because like when old dude's like messing with her and stuff, and she just hugs him tighter, you see that like trigger him,
Right.
and he's like,
I know you're a Belle.
he's
now.
like, yeah, I know you're her now.
Yeah.
And they're like, even though I think he's either 13 or 14. I looked it up. He's either 13 or 14. She's 17. Even though she's older, she's like, you helped me conquer my fear, and then he's like, you helped me just period.
Out of the situation.
Yeah, so I thought that was a good one, and like you can see like he feels he has a crush on her. Like,
Yeah, and
for
that's
sure.
why I was like hoping that he was the same age, because I wasn't really a big fan of Shinobu. So I was like, go after Sasuke looking one. I don't know. He
God,
gave me
screw
them vibes.
Sasuke. Can't stand Sasuke.
But no, I definitely enjoyed it for sure.
Anything else you want to talk about? Because if not, I think we can give a rating.
I think we can give a rating.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
All right. Well, you went first,
I was about to
so
say.
you can decide who goes first. Oh, look at that! See, equality. I tell you, Gee.
2022.
Well, let's go with alphabet order. Ace.
Okay, that was smooth. Wasn't expecting that. So I guess my rating, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. As you guys know, Ace is into the crypto, into the NFTs, into the metaverse.
That's why I thought you'd
So,
like this, to be honest.
I was
when I recommended
fully a huge fan of how they executed the metaverse with the reality, like even from the technology that they had, where It was just headphones, but it body scans and
And you saw it like in their eyes.
yeah,
Which was weird because like remember what she's at the beach and she puts it in and she's in the metaverse while also being in the real world.
Right.
Which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
if you think about that technology, it's almost like it was picture in picture if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she ran from the beach all the way to the elementary school. But she was also Belle.
yeah.
So I don't know, that was cool.
Now, and that part, I don't know. I want to say this carefully. In a specific episode in Black Mirror, not promoting Black Mirror, but in that show they had the technology with the little thing they put on the temple, which allows them to go into that metaverse world. I was like, I really like the technology. I really like the Oculus Quest 2 in the metaverse in real life personally.
They have
So
what
that
was
really
that movie?
I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. The music spot on, the action fighting from the beast spot on, the flashback, and then how it was relevant throughout the entire story. The growth was very smooth. The villains that were in there, I felt like they played their role. Hero was hilarious. The canoe guy was hilarious.
Yeah,
it literally had every single emotion that you could
We
possibly
even
want in
talk
a
about
movie.
him and Ruka. That was hilarious.
I mean, I
That was
grazed over
adorable.
it. Yeah.
That was adorable.
That was
That was
hilarious. Like I was like, he was all big talking. Like, so does that mean you like me? And then he up there,
And she drops her bag. And
yeah,
he
and
goes,
he's like,
wait.
so that
And
means
Suzu was like
Suzu's like,
the interpreter.
Yeah, he,
that's right, hilarious. That was, oh man, that scene just had me dying. So yeah, I really liked. I enjoyed the entire movie. There was nothing that maybe deter or not like it at all. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I was surprised. I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I didn't hear anything about it on YouTube. I didn't really see too many reviews on it prior.
yeah, which is funny. So like when this one released, because this released in theaters as well,
Right.
it didn't get like it got a lot more hype when it was being announced that it was going to come out. Like
Right.
I heard about this and I saw ads for it before it came out, like way before. But then when it came out, released, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Which flip it. Zero, which was another theatrical one that we reviewed that we both were like, it was all right. That got
So much
so
marketing.
much ad.
Yeah.
Like so many. And then we're like, all right, we got to watch this.
And then it was trash.
And it was like,
not trash, but
it wasn't needed. Like it just
Overhyped.
That was my. I remember that was my review. This was not needed.
Right.
Like it was okay, but it was not needed. Like this was way better.
yeah.
Well, it would be me, right?
Yeah.
Next.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
alphabetically, CJ.
So-
what's your rating?
So I actually talked to Jess about this before. I think actually watching it in subbed helped raise my score. So the mind would like if I purely went off of mind, I would give this an 8. And I'll say why, but heart wise, I'm gonna give it a 9. So I'd give it an 8 just because there were like if I purely mind, but like this is a heartstring anime, so like that's why I gotta go with that. But like the reasons it's not a hard 10 or not hard 9 for me is it moved a little quick in my opinion, like just how things just progressed. It moved way too fast. Well, that's one reason. And I'll give an example. So like for instance, when she makes her her debut, like in there, and she only has 0 followers, right? And then she gets 2. And then the time skip that they have looks like it maybe is 1 or 2 days.
I thought it was literally that next morning.
Well, that's what I thought at first, which I was like, this is way too fast.
Okay.
Because people have remixed her, people have done all this. I'm like, how is she out there all like in the span of one night? Like that doesn't make any sense. But when I rewatched it, technically 2 days happen.
Okay.
Because she goes to school, she's happy, whatever his name is looking at her, And then it goes to another day where she's like doing PE. So I'm like, okay, 2 days have happened. And then she sees she's blown up and all this stuff. And then when she's talking to Hero, it's supposedly time has happened because she was like, she was like, well, you're the one who helps me with my dances. You're the one that does this. So it's like this more time happened, but it doesn't. Watching it, you don't feel like all this time has happened.
Yeah, I thought she just went viral.
Exactly.
And just blew up.
But like that's the thing. She's like, "Oh, you helped me with this. You helped me with this." So I'm like, "Okay, so there is a passage of time here, but watching it, it doesn't seem like there's a passage of time."
I actually appreciated that they skipped over that and got straight to the point.
Well, no, I'm not.
I really enjoyed the pacing.
So funnily enough, I talk about them more and more. But Feature Anime Podcast, like one of the guys from there, Rick, he says, "I like when you show me instead of tell me." That's one of his things, and I am that way too. I like when they show me instead of tell, but I didn't need them to spend like 20 minutes on her growing, but I would have liked some easier way to show like, hey, there's a reason why she's gotten 3 million people, because I don't care how fast, you're not getting 3 million people in one night.
Yeah.
But the other reason that I didn't like is what we spent like the first 10 minutes talking about, like her mom's decision. Like that is stupid. I don't care. I get it. You prioritize your family over anybody else's unless you bona fide know you can come out of it unscathed. Right. Like that, leaving your child without a mom for somebody else's, when arguably the girl was not in that much danger.
Right, she was chilling on
she
a
was
little
on an island.
Yeah.
The island wasn't flooding. She was just crying. If she stopped crying, it probably wouldn't flood. Okay? It was stupid.
Hey,
like, I was like, I was like, yo, like, there's no reason for her to go out there without proper, like, which is what you were talking about, without proper preparation.
Right.
Like, the water was not flying up.
No.
So you're like, all right, nobody is saving her. Bet. I understand. I believe I can do this. Hey, let me get some people involved. Hey, old dude,
yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're just staring. Find a rope. Tie it around me. All y'all who are just standing here, pull me when I come back.
Right.
Like, do something.
Yeah.
Like, her decision making was retarded.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd hate to use that word, but like, that's what it was to me. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like different things like that. And then there was just certain scenes that I didn't like where like everybody's mouth was like wide open. Like they're just sitting there.
I did not even notice that. I'm about to rewatch that part.
Like when she when they're all in the old school, like the old ladies are there and stuff. Like Canoe guy's mouth is just Ruka's mouth like everybody's mouth is just wide open for no reason. I'm like, why is everybody's mouth open? Like a fly is gonna go in there and stop.
Your attention to detail is like impeccable.
So my mind, if I purely went off it, I'd give it an 8. Okay. But the music was phenomenal. Both types of animation were beautifully done. And just both main characters were really good. Both English and Japanese. She sounded a lot like the Japanese character, especially voice actress, especially when they were singing. They sound very, very similar. When they are in Suzu mode, I think I like both of them for different reasons. So the Japanese, when she has like a little bit of a higher register when she's talking as Suzu, and she sounds a little bit more adult when she's singing as Belle, which makes sense because she's more confident. American actress is actually flipped, so she has a lower register that actually kind of makes her sound more childish, and then when she's Belle, she sings at a higher register and it sounds phenomenal. Yeah. So I liked, and she said I didn't want it to feel like to anybody that I was purely trying to copy and emulate. She was like, I wanted to make it my own. So she did that with her voice. And I think she, like, there's a whole interview, like there's several interviews that people have done with her, and I really liked reading them. But like, and the one thing I really liked about her is she's not a known girl. Like you don't know her from TikTok, because a lot of people are getting like found on TikTok. You don't know her from YouTube, like, but she's a lot like Suzu. Like, you wouldn't expect this chick over here
girl,
to be a killer.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I liked it for that. So yeah, it definitely gets a 9, but there's too many things that kind of annoyed me, especially like the mom thing, to give it a 10. But I'm not mad at you for doing a 10. Like, I could see it, but personally, yeah, I just can't.
Yeah, I just before you go, just the mom part, it foreshadowed very well.
Well, yeah,
So
no,
I think that's the only reason I'm giving it a 10. The decision, definitely didn't like the decision, but I'm not gonna like fault or take points away from the whole entire film because of that.
yeah, and that's why I love doing this with multiple people, right? Like, we all have our different viewpoints. Like, I take it as a whole, so I'm like, no, as a whole movie, I can't, because that part annoyed the crap out of me. But there's way more positives than negatives.
Yeah.
And I know, I tell you guys all the time, I say it on the podcast, I pay attention way too much to things. So, like, it's like I told you when we first started, it's very hard to get a 10 out of me. But like, the fact that we've had so many 10s on this is because like they've been really good. Like, when we review Angel Beats, I told you in one of the other episodes, I'm not going to give it a 10. But personally, it's a 10 for me. But logically, it's not a 10 anime.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Jess,
wrapping it up. Oh,
Save
yeah,
the best
all
for last.
eyes and ears on you. Only our eyes. There's no one else's, but everybody else's ears are on you.
all
Whatever.
the attention,
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
all the pressure.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, my rating. Okay, yes, I am the wife of CJ. I am not taking his rating into my rating. I am a 9.
Well, she's a 10.
I was there.
It was
You had to
there.
literally set this up.
It was there. I had to do it.
Okay, you
Anyway,
gave
go
my
ahead.
alley
Go ahead.
You made that easy.
Go ahead, love of my life.
Oh my goodness.
I knew it. I was like, I know he's about to make this joke.
I better not. I may not play basketball, but swoosh, I tell you.
Shoot.
Whew. And it'll be 6 years. Wow.
Hey, if y'all didn't know, this is how y'all have longevity.
Yes, get someone the complete opposite of you. Anywho, I give my rating a 9. One, because I also agree with CJ. It did feel a little rushed in some places, but also I did watch it dub because unfortunately I didn't have time to watch it sub. But it annoyed the crap out of me whenever they zoomed in on the person and the mouth didn't match the words.
Yeah, you did say that.
So that's like a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, she's opening her mouth, but like the word meant to close her mouth. So it's like, you finished the word. Why is your mouth still open? So that was just a bug for me, but I know it's because I watched it in dub, not sub. But definitely it felt rushed, and it just wasn't like one I was just like, yes, this is like amazing, because I do have a few that I say are amazing, so I'm like CJ with that. But it is definitely one I would recommend. I did recommend it to my girlfriend last night, so, and she's going to watch it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's 100. Anything over, honestly, a 7 for me. And there are some that I'd probably rate even lower, but I'd still give to somebody to recommend. But if it's over a 7, I 100% recommend it. And if it's like an 8 and above, I'm guaranteed that I'd rewatch it.
Right.
So like I'd rewatch this with people like all the time. Like there's have you seen Battle Angel Alita? Have you ever seen that movie?
Nah.
See, that's not an anime movie, but it's close enough. So we might watch that one time.
Okay.
Because I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie.
We bought it.
We did buy it.
Yes. since you guys are definitely true fans on that, I'm gonna watch the free one.
Or yeah.
I'm gonna watch it for free.
I was about to say you just use our login, but anyway, yeah. The reason I
that
thought
looks
of it,
fire.
yeah, the reason I thought of it is because it came from a manga, so it is, gonna like wiggle it around,
Reaching,
and it fits into the podcast.
The reaching is real, but hey, I do appreciate that you exposed me to anime that I most likely would never have touched or even looked at.
Shout out to Bunny Girl.
Yeah, because some of these titles, I'm like,
Yep.
yeah. When is everyone not going to be at the house? Cool. And that's when I'll be sitting down watching these episodes. And what was that one that we reviewed where it was so much fan service that I literally... It was unbelievable amount of fan service.
Not Dress Up Darling? Are you talking about Dress Up Darling? I'm trying to think.
It could have been Dress Up
Darling had some fan service, but it's not like it wasn't fan service for the normal reason.
Right,
fan
like it
service.
was actually functional fan service, but I was like, I can't watch this.
Chivalry of a Failed Knight has some fan service. I don't know.
It was one of them, but I definitely, and I gotta probably go back to the podcast because I told you I was like, he set me up for failure. Whatever one that I said that in, drop in the comments below because that was too much fan service and I don't think it was needed, but it was functional fan service. But yeah, but Jess, I definitely want to thank you for joining us again and giving us your fantastic review and commentary.
Thank you.
I definitely agree with you. Definitely a great film, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what we have next.
For next week. So next week we are going back to anime. We are going to be watching Classroom of the Elite. Right. It came out in 2017, if I remember correctly, which I did not think it was that old. But I actually really like it. It's a very good, just all around anime. I think there's a little bit of action in it, but it's a lot more of psychological, but not like in the normal kind of crazy psychological that you have. It's more of like for lack of a better word, like the economic version of like Prisoner's Dilemma. So you have to like kind of think of what other people are thinking and then make your own decision on it. One of the main characters is this guy who's kind of deadpan, but he likes to be run of the mill. He is obviously a certified genius because he's the only one who got the exact number 50 on every single entrance exam. So he purposefully got 50. So he's a genius. And there's some like different twists in it that I really like. Like the end episode is a 100% twist. And you're like, I need a season 2. Okay. So I'm actually looking forward to rewatching that one. And then depending on, I don't know why I looked at like I have a watch. Depending on
one hair to
yeah, depending on how quick these new season ones end, we'll do a more recent one coming up soon. Because there's a couple that Ace and I are watching that we would like to review, like Spy Family.
Yeah. Shield Hero
Season 2. So actually when Season 2 ends, we could probably do Season 1 and then do Season 2, or Season 1 then I think. But we'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
But
maybe 86.
Yeah, we'll get that one in there because I like that one. I like this is what
and I was like,
I recommended this to him, and he totally forgot. And so he was like, "Hey, have you watched 86?"
Yeah, because I didn't want to like be overconfident with that introduction to the anime, and I'm like, this sounds familiar. And I know he probably, and you gave me a list like probably like 6 months ago.
Oh yeah, I got it.
And I was like, why does this sound so familiar?
Yeah.
But then I was watching it. I'm on episode 5, guys, and I was like, this is tough.
Yeah,
so,
it's a slow build, but it's a good anime. Yeah. But thank you for our listeners that listen to this via whatever podcasting service that you use. We love doing this. It's fun. We like to get a little bit of the different feedback. I know some people have hit me up on Instagram, so that's cool, just talking. If you have any questions, feedback, recommendations, again, X Anime Anonymous X on Instagram, X Anime Anonymous on Twitter, and
Anime Anonymous
there you
on
go.
Audius.
See, because that's the one I always forget. And then if you're old school, for some reason, if you want to email us, it's xanimeanonymousx@gmail. So until then, I'm CJ,
And this is Ace.
joined by,
Jess,
and we'll catch you next AA meeting.
bye.